working on that trailer. I got something else for you to do, buddy.
Well, hey, George, what are you doing?
I got a piece of metal and I got a handle and I need a hatchet.
Well, George, that's a two-man job.
It's only me and you, so I guess you'll have to fake it.
Ha! So, George, looks like you got a nice little piece of 1-inch bar stock here. That'll make a really good hatchet head. What kind of handle do you got there? Is that hickory?
That's a hickory one. What do you think? What's it feel like?
It felt like hickory.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's get to laying out this bar. That really did feel like hickory. So, what we need to do is figure out how much we're going to take up when we slit it, so we can poke that size of handle. And I believe I have a drift that fits that style of handle. So, you want some blade out this side and a little hammerhead back here. So that's going to take about that much. And this slitter, believe it or not, is the correct width to slit the hole for this handle profile. And I actually have the drift. I'll show you that here in a little bit. But that's going to give me a wide enough slit to pass that size of handle into that piece of steel. So I've got my slit laid out where I want. Got enough here, put a little hammerhead, enough to draw out here for my blade. So, like I say, my slit will live right here. So I'm going to slit it this way, so I kind of just eyeball it. Close enough. That'll get it with the grinder. Now I'm going to punch that with a chisel and just kind of exaggerate that mark, because obviously that's going to come off when we heat this up. But I'll just hit that with a chisel and strike me a nice little line right down the middle. Lightly at first, and then I can measure it, and then come on through with a heavy chisel mark. And it'll end up looking something like this. See? Got it laid out for my slit right here. And I chiseled it. All right, now we're ready to go to the fire. All right, we're just gonna give you a quick rundown of the tools we're gonna be using. This is our slitter. That is what we're actually going to drive through the bar stock to start the opening for where our handle's gonna go. This is just, anything will work. This is a nice little chisel I like. Poke that in your slitted hole just to get it blown out big enough so that you can get your drift started through it. And this is the drift. If you look at this, it's oval shaped. It's kind of hard to see a cross section of it. But that right there is the perfect profile to accept a standard hickory handle for a 2-pound sledge or something. I like those handles for my tomahawks because they just hold up really well. In addition to these 3 basic tools, need a good sturdy anvil, and of course, your hammer.
There you go, buddy. Let's see what you can do.
Don't drop it.
Hey, next time you hit it, if you're gonna hit it like a girl, hit it like a big girl.
Do you want to swing at it?
No, I'm cool holding the hot thing, man.
All right.
That hammer's too small for me.
Oh, okay.
Take a real hammer for a real man.
All right, George, move it over to the hole. There we go. There we go. Here's where it gets crazy. It's time to go to the power hammer. What we're doing right now is we're using the fullering dies, and we'll get a close-up of this here in a second. But that's what gives us our signature hammer shape, you know, with the tomahawk. We'll have the blade here, and the little hammer head here. That'll be a nice place to get a good grip on our handle. Alright, now we're going to refine the hammerhead on our hatchet. We've got the handle hole in there pretty good. Once you get it nice and smooth and round, the power hammer stops kicking you. But what we're doing is we're using the fullering dies. These are the fullering dies I've been talking about, and it's real basic. They have a half round profile, and that allows you to spread metal this direction. So if you want to spread something this way, you'd come in from this direction. To make this piece longer, you'd come in at this direction. But what I did here was I used it to fuller and give it that little bit of taper to offset the face of this hammer from where the handle is. This is the blade flaring tool. I don't know what to call it, but it's a fuller. And it goes in the power hammer this way, and it's at a taper as well as a rounded contour. So when we lay a piece of steel in here, it's going to spread it this way. And yeah, that will really quickly draw out or fuller out the width of a blade. And you'll see me demonstrate this here once this piece of steel is hot. Alright, this is where the cool part kind of happens. I mean, slitting a hole through a piece of 1-inch bar is pretty cool, but this is where the blade takes shape, so that's pretty cool too. Alright, we're going to go to the die I showed you earlier. We're going to spread it this way to make our blade. So you can see, we're starting to spread it this direction, and it's really thick at the tip, so we've got a couple more heats to go. But that's going to be a really sweet tomahawk blade. my die left a little hump there, and I just fixed it really quick with my cross beam. It's coming right out. You know, if you didn't have a power hammer, you could still do this project. There's a fuller. Putting that into that steel, that direction will spread it to make your blade. Right now I'm being mean to it because it's too cold. Alright, we've got our blade spread out quite a bit. I'm going to finish it up with a cross peen right over on the anvil. And I think we're about ready to do some sanding and finish this up. Come around here so you can see. Straightening it out. That's pretty sweet. Alright, YouTube fans, we just got finished doing the rough forge work on our tomahawk. This is the first video in my YouTube channel. And here it is. We started with a block of steel, that dimension, and we showed you how we laid it out, slit it, drift it, and then do some fullering, some drawing, spreading. It's all there. There's a lot of fundamentals covered under this project. This can become making flowers, making railings. You know, you can do joinery this way. If we were to forge a tenon on this, we could pass it through there and pound it off like a rivet, and bam, there's a joint. Very strong. That's blacksmithing. Alright, we're finishing up our hatchet. We did all the forge work, and we're going to leave a lot of this rough. But we're going to dress up the face of the hammer, and we're going to put a nice edge on it, of course. You ready?
Sounds good to me. Let's go for it.
Alright. Normally you'd use a belt sander, but I'm going to use this. Give me a nice bevel on one side. And that bevels both sides. Now we'll just kind of clean it up. We'll switch to a lesser grit. Or in my case, a more worn out version of the same grit. Don't throw away your old disc. So I've done the initial profile on this blade edge, and now I'm putting like a secondary profile on it that's actually our sharp edge. Got it to a nice even round profile. And that is sharp. Now we're going to dress up the hammer face. We've got the blade kind of roughed in. It's pretty sharp. We'll take a honing stone and actually get it sharper. But now we're just going to square that off and kind of give it a nice bevel on all four sides, and that'll make a great surface to drive a nail or a tent stake. Birds in the shop. That's pretty sweet. Now, that's pretty good. Real simple, utilitarian style hatchet. Piece of 1-inch solid bar. Let's put a handle in it. In this opening, there's a big side and a little side. You want to stick it through the little side so that you've got a little gappage here. That way when you drive your wedge, it can spread out and be wider diameter than the hole at the bottom, so it can't slip off. First we need to cut a slit in this for our wooden wedge, and I'm just going to do that on the bandsaw. And that's all you need. That will accept our wooden wedge, which will spread this out, and then you drive your steel wedge this way. Let's pop it in. Well, we're finished up here. Putting our hatchet head on, wiggling it on down on there. Pretty good. Put our wooden wedge in it. Don't hit this too hard. Just tap it on in real nice and easy. Not terrible. I'm going to trim off some of this. There's that. Now we're going to go in with our steel wedge. Get these at the hardware store where you buy the handles. At your finer hardware stores anyways. Lightly tap it. There it is. As it loosens up, you can drive that wedge in more with a chisel or whatever. But that is on there, ladies and gentlemen, and there we have a handmade hatchet. You hit that with a hone, that'd be razor sharp. We didn't harden it. Nothing's stopping us from putting a little harden on this edge. But you know, I'd rather it be easy to sharpen out at the campsite if I hit a rock or something. A hardened blade's really hard to knock down with a file. But this soft blade here, it'll file right out. You can keep it sharp as you go. But yeah, it's been fun. Thanks for coming with us.
Oh, looks like we finally got it done, huh?
Looks like we finally got it done, that's right.
Looks good, dude.
Didn't take too long, did it?
I didn't take long at all. Right.
You like it?
Oh, yeah. I can cut me some kindling wood tonight for the fire in the morning. For sure. You did a good job, Edgar.
Sweet. Thank you, George. Well, it was fun.